What's going on, everybody? Jeff Holiday here, and I figured today I'd do something a little bit different. This is going to be kind of an off-the-cuff rant on a topic that is kind of important to me. I'm not even going to bother with too much of a fancy setup, just me, one camera, couple of lights, and you. So let's get into it. The standardized notions of proper behavior and proper conduct is something that has always really pissed me off. Even as a little kid when I was growing up in a very Lutheran household, I rejected the notion of automatically having to bend my will to the aims of what other people expected me to do. And in that way, I found myself embraced in counterculture as I grew up. It just seemed very attractive to me. This is how you're supposed to behave in society. Well, fuck you. But it's not just simply like societal behavior, regular standards of you know, societal pressure. You have to conform, you have to behave this way, you have to convey yourself in a certain manner, don't use certain words, don't say certain things. It's not just that either. It's more simply a system of control. And I believe that control in and of itself, especially when you're trying to build something like a society, is important, but for the individual, I usually routinely deny people the pleasure of telling me how I should behave. And in this way, I think I've managed to at least stay more honest to myself than many people manage to do. But where does this whole thing necessarily come from? Well, Howard Bloom, in his book The Lucifer Principle, says that there are basically two main functions in society when you want to talk about conformity. There's conformity enforcers, the people who put societal pressure on others to act the same way, which helps to achieve society's goals and maintain some sort of cohesion in the group. And then there's diversity generators, which are people who shake it up and help that society evolve and find new avenues to then enforce new conformity. And by and large, I totally accept this as a reasonable summation of how this usually works. But the problem is intent. The problem is always intent. And it's not really just like societal pressures that does this either. I mean, it's religion too. It's the very nature of something being sacred. If something is sacred, that means it is beyond question. It is beyond criticism or trying to break it down and to figure out whether it works or it doesn't. Sacred means it has to be. It just is. It has to be. And I hate this idea. I loathe this idea. It's one of the reasons why I've always rejected organized religion as soon as I had the bravery to pull myself out of it. That isn't to say that I had to then go full-blown into some other type of ideology, like, I don't know, some of the more angsty and obnoxious fucking atheists out there. You know, I didn't have to go that direction. I simply just had to reject the thing that I didn't agree with. Simple as that. But you see this in cultures all the fucking time. Not just in cultures, even in just simple belief practices, like with pseudoscience in the health industry. There's the whole counterculture that is not really much of a counterculture where you don't believe in biomedical science because you have a problem with the pharmaceutical industry. Well, that's great. I have a problem with the pharmaceutical industry, but that doesn't mean I'm going to start sticking crystals up my ass to try and heal my eczema. For the record, before anybody asks, no, I don't actually have eczema. Okay. Every single aspect and topic is something that should be evenly considered, as objectively as possible. You possess the most brilliant machine on the planet to be able to make up your own fucking mind what you believe, what you want to go for, the things you want to put your effort, your energy into. It's your choice. But we always find ourselves in these traps, whether it's with organized religion, whether it's with cultural and social groups, that we have to behave. I don't like that, and I don't agree. You see it today in these types of cultures with our political climate. If you are identifying even slightly with one political ideology, obviously you also believe in the absolute worst parts of that ideology. Obviously, you have to. It's just a rule. Fuck that, fuck you, fuck off. No. People have a wide, brilliant, diverse range of opinions, and that's a good thing. Not everybody should agree all the fucking time. That's a bad idea, a horrible idea, because that leads to control. But it also comes down to identity politics as well. You know, you have to believe a certain type of thing. If you are pro-LGBTQ, you then have to be pro-non-binary. No, you don't. No, you fucking don't. You can believe whatever you want to believe. And the concept and notion of just simply shaming somebody because they disagree with you or they have a nuanced opinion is authoritarian, and that's exactly the fucking problem. You also see it with certain types of black culture, whatever the fuck black culture is supposed to be. But the very notion that somebody wants to embrace some notion of black culture or white culture is a dumbing down. It's an authoritarian ideal trying to say that if you are blank, then blank. Well, no, I'm sorry, but that's not the fucking case. I know vastly many fucking black people who don't agree with standardized social societal norms, and they have their own minds, their own free-thinking opinions. They embrace their own individuality, and that's amazing, and they don't have to necessarily fall in line. And as far as white culture goes, I mean, have you fucking seen me? And then there's this whole notion of geography too, because you see, when you live in places like America's such a huge fucking country compared to most places, and you have this really fucked up thing that happens in America where everybody believes that the rest of the world believes like America believes, and they don't. They just fucking don't. A good example is, I have never met a Mexican from Mexico who has a problem with somebody wearing sugar skull makeup or wearing a fucking sombrero. Never fucking happened. However, I have run into at least 3 different people who are half Latino or Latina, in the case of the girls, it's 2 girls and 1 guy, who absolutely shit the fucking bed because my friend wore a sombrero and was a Mexican desperado for Halloween one year. Totally shit the bed. Mexicans in Mexico don't care. Overprivileged college kids in America, they shit the bed. They shit the fucking bed. The world is such an incredible, diverse place, and there's so much room for all these different types of opinions. So when somebody tries to put pressure on you that you have to think a certain type of way, tell them to fuck off. Tell them to fuck off, because your opinion is your opinion. If they want to try and change your opinion, hey, great, have a discussion, have a debate, have a full-blown argument, who knows? Maybe you'll get your mind changed, maybe you'll change theirs, that's okay. But if we all think alike, and if we can always use something as stupid as shame and guilt to try and push for what we think people should think or say, or what they should wear, or how they should act, that is absolutely the worst case of authoritarianism. It doesn't serve society, it doesn't help society, it doesn't help you, and it doesn't help them. It's just simply somebody trying to get power over you. Tell them to fuck off. Tell them I said fuck off. If you need to pass the buck on to me, that's okay too. Anyway, that's just kind of like a random off-the-cuff, unscripted, on, seat of my pajamas kind of video. I did have a different video plan, but it's actually going to have to wait a little bit because it's Halloween and I am going to go do something tonight. Surprisingly enough, I'm gonna subject myself to society. Ooh, we'll see how that goes. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this video. I appreciate it as always, and I will see you guys next time.